Why everyone is obsessed with Virgin Voyages. Yep, today's episode is all about Virgin Voyages. And listen, whether you think cruises are floating retirement homes, floating frat parties, or floating stomach viruses, Virgin basically looked at the entire cruise industry and said, what if we made this cool? And honestly, they kind of did. Welcome back to Talk Travel with Samantha, powered by Fabulous Adventures Travel, the show where we help you travel smarter, vacation harder, and avoid spending your hard-earned money on disappointing buffets and matching family t-shirts. I'm Samantha, and today I'm admitting my crazy obsession with Virgin Voyages and why I have sailed 52 times and they've only been sailing for 5 years. It's kind of embarrassing, I gotta be honest. So today, we're breaking down why people are obsessed with Virgin Voyages, people meaning me and everybody else, and what makes it different, who it's actually good for, what's overrated, not much, gotta be honest, pretty decent, what surprised me, rookie mistakes people make, and whether Virgin is actually worth the money. Plus, later in the show, I'll tell you the one thing first-time Virgin sailors always underestimate, and it's not the nightlife. You're listening to Talk Travel with Samantha, powered by Fabulous Adventures Travel. So let's start here. The reason Virgin Voyages exploded so fast is because they understood something the cruise industry ignored for years. A lot of young travelers wanted the convenience of cruising without the cheesy cruise vibes. I mean, listen, sometimes when you get on a cruise, you're like, man, this is not my vibe. But Virgin is the coolest vibe you can ever have. And Virgin said, no water slides, no buffets, no screaming children. What? No screaming children? Let me say it again. I'm gonna say it one more time. No screaming children. No formal nights, no giant banquet hall dining. Instead, boutique hotel energy, rooftop lounge vibes, elevated food. Oh, the food is so good. Nightlife that actually feels current. Wellness spaces. I cannot tell you the amazing spa. The thermal spa on board Virgin is so lovely. Modern design, sleek modern design, I should say. And honestly, better music. And you do you mentality. This is the best one. When I say you do you mentality, I mean that you do you. You want to wear shorts to dinner? You wear shorts to dinner. You want to wear a gown and a tuxedo? You wear a gown and tuxedo. You don't want to go to dinner? Don't go to dinner. Do whatever you want. It is a you do you mentality. The ships feel more like a trendy hotel in Miami, somehow floating through the Caribbean. And the adults only thing changed everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Not because kids are bad. We all love them. You know, they're so great. Oh, yay. But because the vibe shifts completely when everyone on board chose to be there for themselves. People sleep later. Dinner feels relaxed. No screaming children. You're just chilling, eating the good food. People actually talk to each other and make friends, like I said. And even the nightlife feels more sophisticated. It's definitely more sophisticated. And one of the smartest things Virgin did, they stripped out a lot of the annoying upcharges. So you're not going to get nickel and dimed on the cruise line. You're going to actually have a lot of it paid ahead of time. So Wi-Fi included, basic bevies are included, group fitness classes are included, and specialty dining is included. That's all included in your base price. So you're not getting on board going, oh my gosh, I got to be able to call home or write home to talk to my kids. Nope, already included. You can totally talk to them as much as you want or as much as you don't want. So now listen carefully. Included in cruise language is usually where they trick you. Virgin actually includes more than most cruise lines up front, which makes the pricing feel less nickel and dimey. Okay, so I mentioned this earlier, but we need to talk about the food situation. The food is so good on Virgin. It's unreal. Because this is where the people either become lifelong Virgin fans and join the cult, or start emotionally planning their next cruise before they've even left the ship, because the food is that good. So we talked about this earlier. Virgin got rid of the giant buffet. Thank the Lord, because I gotta tell you, the buffet makes me crazy. I'm not a big buffet fan. I always say that. I remember back in the day, I used to love a buffet. Now I cringe at the thought of it. Will I go? Yeah, of course, but I just cringe at it. And them getting rid of the giant buffet was bold. An absolute bold move, because I will tell you, back in the day when Virgin first came out, people complained immensely about there's no buffet, and I thought to myself, well, who cares? That sounds awesome to me. But if you love a good buffet, know that they have a place on deck 15 that's called the Galley. It's not a buffet, but I want to say it's like a buffet. It's still all you can eat, but the food is made fresh. So I like to call it a glorified food court. It's not perfectly a food court, I would say, because that sounds horrific and like 80s and kind of dirty, because it's not that at all. It's a very nice food court, and it's actually really, really nice. So there's a bunch of eateries in there, and they're separate eateries. So you've got, the bakeries in there, the deli is in there, there's a panini press in there, the noodles, there's a taco joint in there, the diner is in there. Oh my gosh, the cheeseburger place, sushi. There's so much up there. So like I said, a glorified food court, but all of it's made fresh. So when you request this stuff, there's a salad bar up there. All the salads right there, and the lady makes it for you. You tell her, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And she makes it, and it's amazing. It's so great. So everything up there is super, super fresh. So instead of the giant buffet, of course, they created smaller restaurant concepts around the ship. This is where they get their specialty dining. So think upscale steakhouse, Korean barbecue. They are the first Korean barbecue at sea, and it is where they cook for you. It's upstairs. It's called Gun Bay. It's super, super fun. There's a game that you play. It's called 369, and you can't actually say those numbers. You have to clap on them. And then if you don't clap, you've got to take a shot. Like, so much fun. Elevated Mexican. You're not going to find tacos at Pink Agave. Fresh pasta. It's called extra virgin, but I actually happen to call it EV. They have fresh pasta there. Vegetarian forward options. Late night dinner food, fancy brunches. Oh, they know how to fancy brunch there. Sushi and Mediterranean. And unlike traditional cruises, you don't pay extra for most of these restaurants. You actually don't pay extra at all, to be honest. But what I will say is there are some items inside the restaurants that are extra. You don't have to pay for them. They're just a little treat yourself if you want to treat yourself. So at the Wake, which is the steakhouse, you can have the seafood tower and the tomahawk steak. Those are options there. At each restaurant, there are a couple options of treat yourself. And, those are extra, but you don't have to get them. Everything else is already included. So now, is every single restaurant perfect? No, of course not. The problem is that some people don't like some of this food, right? So you'll see comments about, Test Kitchen, won't eat there again. Test Kitchen is one of the coolest places, and I've always said that you should try it. I was not a huge fan of it in the beginning of my 52 times on board. And it's taken me 52 times to love it. But that's because I have a child's palate. I have a kid palate. I love my chicken fingers and French fries. So when you put something in front of me that I don't know what's in it, and it's got peas and egg and caviar on top of it, and I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know about that. That's me. I won't eat it. But I've started to really try to like Test Kitchen, and I honest to God think it's the coolest place now. So the concept of Test Kitchen is they give you one ingredient. So let's just say peas and mushrooms and chicken or beef, scallops, shrimp, those kind of things. And you don't really know what else is in the dish. But when the dish comes out, your waiter will give you this massive explanation of what's in it and, tell you to enjoy. It's the coolest restaurant, and the whole thing looks like a laboratory, like they're playing around in there. It's just a great, great restaurant that I have actually fallen in love with. But the average food quality, I do want to mention, on board Virgin is significantly higher than what many people expect from cruising. So here's what surprised me. The food feels more curated than mass produced, and it is. There is a chef back there making it as you order it. It's not sitting out on the shelves waiting for you to order it, and they grab 7 plates as they walk by and they hand them out. There is someone making the pasta as you order it. It doesn't feel like, here's your chicken with mystery sauce for 4,000 passengers. It feels intentional. So who is Virgin actually perfect for? Honestly, couples, girls trips. I have a girls cruise every single year. It's called Girls Gone Cruisin'. We do a girls trip. It is the funnest time that we ever have because it's all girls. We have so much fun. We book the massive suite, which is the largest suite on the ship, and we have a bunch of girls on there, and we just run amok on there for 4 to 5 nights, whatever trip we take. This year, we're doing it October 3rd through the 8th. We're going to Grand Turk, and oh my goodness, the girls trip is so much fun. We have the best time, and it's actually called Girls Gone Cruising. So for those of you that, kind of lived through the 90s, or was it 80s? I did make a play on that, which is, always fun. Who else it's good for? Solo travelers. They're amazing at solo travelers. This is probably when a client comes to me and says, hey, I want to go on a solo cruise. I'm like, yep, got you covered. Let's go Virgin, because they're just really, really good at it. From day one, they invite you to a meet and greet, and then you have dinner scheduled, and you meet friends right in that first time, because there's a meet and greet and all the solo travelers come. You actually get a letter in your cabin when you first check in, when you first step in your cabin. The letter says, hey, welcome solo traveler. Come to dinner and meet all your fellow solo travelers. They just do an amazing job. Millennials is another good one. Gen X travelers, burnt out parents. This is your jam. This is where you find yourself again. You're like, oh my gosh, I never knew this was in me. Or you're like, oh, thank you, Jesus, for this freaking relaxation cruise. So people who like boutique hotels, this is perfect for you. Foodies, 100% perfect for you. And people who say, I'm not really a cruise person, because Virgin is not really a cruise person, or not really a cruise, I should say, not a person. Those are the people that end up loving Virgin. So now, who may not love it? Well, there's a small select few that may not love it, but families with kids, obviously, because you might want to travel with your kids and that's your only vacation time. And you're like, I can't leave my kids, got to go on vacation with them, which I completely understand. People who want water slides and nonstop activities. And I'm going to be honest, there's those adults out there. Sometimes that's even me. I love me a good water slide and I love me a good water park, but I still love Virgin, and I would not, well, I will sail on other things, but given the choice, Virgin would be my choice, hands down, always. Travelers looking for super traditional cruising. Obviously, I have just spent the last, 15 minutes telling you how non-traditional the cruise line is. So if you love your casino, you love your art auctions, you love hearing the captain speak every day about what's coming up and what you're going to do today and what the weather's like, you love a good buffet, you love sitting with other people in a dining room having the same food, this is not the cruise for you at all. But I still think you should do it and have an open mind and try it, because you might realize, wow, this is really cool. So people who go to bed at 8 p.m., not for you. Totally kidding. It still may be okay for you, honestly. I don't want to say I'm giving you guys a hard time. If you go to bed at 8 p.m., you are missing a lot. But trust me, that might be what your vacation is. And you need a vacation, and you need the vacation to end at 8 p.m. And I totally understand that. That is how you are feeling. But I want to point out, Virgin has energy, not chaos, but energy. The energy is kicking. There's live music all around. So obviously, I want to make a point to say that if you don't know who Virgin Voyages is and who started it, it's from Richard Branson. It was started by Richard Branson of Virgin Records, right? So that was the very first business entity that he started, was Virgin Records. He started in the music industry. So the live music on board, the DJs, the theme parties, the entertainment is just really, really great. It's not traditional. So again, if you're going for traditional, I want to sit down and watch Mamma Mia, I want to sit down and watch, Sound of Music, some Broadway show, you are not getting that on Virgin. You are getting upscale, completely different, current, entertaining vibes and entertainment. That is what you're getting. You're also getting a massive mix. Their live music is such a wide range of, you'll find someone that's just playing the guitar by himself solo, no music and no lyrics, no singing, and just the guitar solo. Then you'll find an amazing band that you would totally go see and pay a concert ticket for. So there's such a wide range. You'll find little solo duets, acoustic. It's unreal, the different type of live music that's out there. You'll also find late night foods, like we talked about. They have an arcade, a free arcade, which I actually happen to love. The free arcade is super fun and it's very 80s. So if you were an 80s baby, then you are going to love the free arcade. You don't have to pay anything for it. They have pop-up entertainment. The entertainment just pops up all around. They have secret performances, which those are secret and you have to be invited to them. They also have karaoke. So they have karaoke rooms, private karaoke rooms. So if you've always wanted to sing karaoke, but you're like, yeah, so I'm not going to get up there and sing in front of people. They actually have private karaoke rooms. They're just so much fun. And you just go book them on your own. You don't have to pay for them. It's included. All of it's included. Everything that I just told you is included. And dance parties. Every night there's a new themed dance party. And it's not just a club. We're talking about a dance party, like a circus theme, an 80s theme, a Y2K themed. Oh my gosh, some of these parties are so much fun. One of my favorite things that I love to do, it's called Rockaroke. Is it called? I think it's called Rockaroke. Shoot, I'm probably messing it up, but it's one of my favorite things where you go and it's a full band and they sing and all the songs, anything you can possibly think of that you sing along to, and you kind of stand in front of you and then they'll put the mic in your face. I mean, obviously you're not up there singing with them and they're just basically like a band throwing the mic in your face and you're singing, "Don't Stop Believing," and you're literally singing with them and jumping up and down. It's super, super fun. And they have the words up on the screen. So, in case, this is where I actually learned that I don't know some of the words to songs and I'm literally I'm like, oh, wait, I thought that was a completely different word. I'm such a dork. So I literally wow, I did not know that's the word, but it's super fun. So go to that. So the vibe on board feels social without feeling forced. You don't ever feel forced. There's nothing about Virgin. Like I said, if you want to go to bed at 8 p.m., go to bed at 8 p.m. You're probably going to hear people talk the next day about how they did this really cool thing last night. And you're like, dang, I shouldn't have gone to bed. I should have stayed up. But it's a hard balance. Trust me, it's hard when you're on vacation. You're like, I just want to sleep. It's one of those things you're like, I don't know what to do. But also I want to point out that while I'm saying all this, you're probably like, oh, I'm not like the partier person. And that sounds really, really young. So let's talk about age. Virgin attracts a very mixed crowd age-wise. Remember when I mentioned that it was 18 and up for adults only? It actually obviously goes really far. They're not going to deny anyone. One of my good friends who is a travel agent with me, she had a 90-year-old client come on board and loved every minute of it. So it really goes, it's a very wide range. People think it's all influencers in their 20s and everyone's just beautiful bouncing around. But listen, it's such a mix and crazy. It's not true. You'll see 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. The common denominator isn't age, it's mindset. Remember that. The common denominator isn't age, it's mindset. People on board generally want good food, good drinks, good design, good fun, and a more modern vacation experience. So please do not think that you're getting on board and you're going to be the oldest person. This question gets asked a bazillion, cajillion times. And in my 52 cruises, I have yet to be the oldest person. And I don't know that I've ever met the oldest person, but the range of age is so wild. It's massive. And the other thing I will tell you, I've met young kids on board and I'm like, hey, did you like it? Like, were you bored? Like, what'd you think? They're like, no, this is the greatest. And I will also say that I've seen people say in their 20s, they're like, am I going to be bored? There's like 50-year-olds on here. And I was like, oh, wow. I was like, you'll see some of those 50-year-olds party harder than you. You're going to be in bed. They're still going to be up. So all the people. Okay, now let's talk about what people get wrong about Virgin Voyages. First, people assume it's a nonstop party cruise, just like I mentioned. It's not. Can you party? Absolutely. I have rolled into my cabin at 3 a.m. many a time, but you can also sit in a hammock reading a book. Oh my gosh, the hammock that you get with your sea terrace cabin is glorious. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've fallen asleep in the hammock at 3 a.m. and I've also fallen asleep during the day. You can spend hours in the spa. You can do yoga at sunrise. They have the best yoga at sunrise. It's up on the perch. It's just beautiful with the breeze blowing. It's amazing. You can eat incredible brunch. Just like I said, their brunch is on point. And you can watch the ocean quietly. Again, when I mentioned that there's all these little chill areas, there's so many places you can chill. I see people just chilling, reading a book, doom scrolling on their phone because they get free Wi-Fi. I'd rather you not doom scroll and just enjoy the moment. But hey, whatever your chill is, you do you. The second misconception, people think it's wildly expensive. So as a travel agent, I get this all the time. It is not wildly expensive. Now, yes, it can cost more upfront than bargain cruise lines. So this is where people get this wrong. They will look and compare to Royal Caribbean and NCL or Celebrity, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, NCL and Celebrity are much cheaper. Well, of course they are, because they don't have the specialty dining including, the Wi-Fi included, the basic bevies. Do you know how much it costs for a basic beverage package? It's like $20 a day. Virgin charges nothing. And what I mean by basic bevies, if that kind of threw you off, is all your sodas. All your sodas and juices and all of that stuff is included. So you're not paying extra for your Coke products. And Coke products are what they have, in case you were wondering, in case that's a big deal. Third, people think cruising is outdated, but the newer generation of cruise ships, especially Virgin, has completely changed the perception of what cruising can be. This isn't your aunt's cruise from 1998 with midnight chocolate sculptures and a conga line near the casino. Although honestly, they really should bring back the chocolate sculptures because, oh my goodness. Do you guys remember the midnight chocolate buffet? Oh, that was like amazing. And they only had it once a cruise, and the line was like a mile long. I don't understand why they don't bring that back. So let's get to the point. Is Virgin Voyages worth it for the right traveler? Absolutely. I wouldn't have sailed 52 times if it wasn't. Especially if you value experiences over gimmicks, you care about food, you like modern design, you want adults only. This is key because you can't be traveling with your families. Well, your young kids, I should say. You want a vacation that feels elevated without being stuffy. This is not a stuffy cruise line. Remember what I said 10, 15 minutes ago? You do you. Here's the biggest thing Virgin nailed. They made cruising feel cool again. And the people who end up becoming obsessed with Virgin are usually the people who are most skeptical before they tried it, which honestly says everything. So a little bit about my obsession. I just want to tell you that I have sailed Virgin since the very, 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 very first time that they sailed out of the US. I was on the very first sailing out of here. I know I had to say all the varies. I'm sorry. I just had to say it. And I have not looked back ever since. I fell in love that very first time. And I got to be honest, it was a hot mess because of the fact that it was the very first time they were sailing out of the US. It was just after COVID and they were a brand new cruise line. So the fact that I still fell in love and madly in love, not just in love, madly in love, to have sailed 52 times in 5 years is a little nuts. So I have actually sailed out of Miami majority of the times, but I've also done the Mediterranean. I've done Greece. I have done the Med out of Barcelona. I've also done Iceland. I've also sailed the Southern Caribbean. I just sailed the Panama Canal, which they just did, and I will be sailing Alaska at the beginning of next month. So my Virgin repertoire is very, very, very extensive. I have pretty much done it all. There's not many ports that I have not been to, and I have been on all 4 ships. They actually only have 4 ships, and I've been on all 4 of them. And I've also sailed in almost all of the cabins. As I mentioned in a couple episodes again, or before, I am not an insider girl in any way, shape, or form. So if you want to check out any of these trips that I've been on, I have a podcast called Talk Virgin to Me that is on YouTube. I also have a channel on Facebook that's Samantha Fabulous Adventures Travel. And we also have a group, a very large group that is Virgin Voyages Cruise Tips and Deals on Facebook. So go check any of those out. You will see all of my travels. It's been a ride for 5 years, I will be honest. But the other cool thing is that I have actually been the top sales of Virgin Voyages for 4 years in a row. One of 2 agents that have been the top sales of Virgin Voyages for 4 years in a row. So it's a very, very cool distinction that I have, an award that I have. They honor it. Virgin Voyages honors it every year to their top sales. And I have this really cool award that has these octopus tentacles that kind of come out of it. And they award it to us every year. So It's been an amazing ride, and that is why I absolutely love Virgin and want everyone to fall in love with it as much as I have, because honestly, once you go on board, you will not look back. And I promise you, you can tell me, nope, Samantha, I hated it, or nope, Samantha, or yes, Samantha, I fell in love. So I really do want to hear that. So write me, go to talktravelwithsamantha.com and send me an email or make a comment in the contact us, because I want to hear if you've sailed on Virgin and if you've loved it or hated it, or that now you're on the cult. You can tell me all the things. Next week on Talk Travel with Samantha, we're talking about the Caribbean islands everyone books versus the ones they should book. I'm Samantha, and this has been Talk Travel with Samantha, powered by Fabulous Adventures Travel. Remember, life's too short for bad vacations, mediocre food, and pool chairs claimed at 6 a.m. Thanks for joining, and until next time, travel smarter, vacation harder.